Hi everyone, it's Nancy here and I'm with another process video for you. This is a layout I made about 3 weeks ago actually, before I was ill, and it was just using up some papers that I'd had in my stash for quite a while, so I just wanted to get them used up. I am trying to dig through my stash and get rid of those bits of paper that I'd saved. I originally saved this piece of ampersand paper for the other side, which kind of had like a flight pattern or a star mat, I'm not really sure what it was. But I decided to go with the grey side because it's this lovely grey and teal. I do gut that piece of teal cardstock out because I want to mount my photos on it. Do apologise, I appeared to be texting then. So these are the two photos that I want to scrap, and they are just of a date night that me and my boyfriend had. My aunt very kindly brought us a voucher for Christmas for us to go out for a meal. We were so disorganised that by the time we remembered that we had a voucher, it actually run out. But I rung up the restaurant and they were really lovely and said that they'd honour it for us, so we booked in like that week to go. And so there's a picture of my boyfriend making a gormless face, as he always does when I ask to take a picture of him. With our dessert we had chocolate profiteroles, and then there is a lovely picture of the main, which is a lovely piece of ribeye steak and chips. So I just wanted to document that because it's not very often that we actually have date nights anymore. We used to do it quite a lot, but now we're more likely to, you know, sit in bed with a pizza and watch Netflix than we are to go out and have a date night. So I'm just going through the LA Studio cut apart piece, and again it was one of the Valentine's collection bits. And also the Sprinkled with Love by Alison Krefft. I've used some of the 3x4 cards that came with that. And I'm just going to start building up my layers and tucking bits under the photos, you know, like I normally do. Sorry guys, my recording stopped for some unknown reason there. Maybe it's testing because I haven't actually done any voiceovers lately. So as I said, I was just going through the LA Studio Valentine's pack that I got, just pulling out a variety of the different cards and bits. I picked this up in the sale, so I knew I wanted to try and use it, and I actually decided to cut the packaging up because it was a really nice pink colour and it had a little arrow detail, so I decided to actually cut the packaging up to use on this layout. And I think you can often do that now because a lot of the packaging is so lovely. I have been known to do it with like the front of collection packs where they kind of break down all the different designs, which is ridiculous because I have so much paper I really don't need to be using packaging. But you know, when you see something that you really want, you really like, so I'm just working on my clusters here, adding everything sort of up together. And as I said, it's a good way, because this is, you know, it's about date night, it's a good way to kind of use up a lot of the Valentine's papers and collections that I've got lying around. And I really kind of like the kind of mint green and the pink colours together. I have been doing a lot more sort of brighter layouts recently, so it's quite nice to kind of have a bit of a change up. Here I'm going through the Old Darling vellum pieces. There is so much in that pack, it's ridiculous. I'm not 100% sure if I like those border pieces. They're nice, but I think they're just a little bit too like skinny for me to use in my layering, because I like to layer lots and lots of bits on top of each other. I think they get a little bit lost. I like the idea of it though, but I'm just not 100% sure if I'm going to actually get a lot of use out of them. There's still a lot in that package. So I've just pulled out a couple of the vellum pieces and the hearts, and there's a little camera as well, which is also in that teal colour. So I'm happy to get that used up. And you are going to see quite a lot of fussing on this layout with all the different layers. I was trying to get it just how I want it, and then you have to pull it all up, stick it down anyway, so you might as well just stick it down as you go along, to be honest. This was a reasonably quick layout for me. It took me about 50 minutes, you know, which is not too bad for sort of my layouts. That's kind of roughly sort of how long I take to do them. I think my process is taking a little bit longer because I now are in the phase of just inking the edges of everything. So I have been working my way through inking everything up. I do like those love pieces. I did, as I say, have a piece of paper with all those on, but actually ended up using the reverse side of that. So I just cut those out of the 3x4 card that came with that. And I'm really loving that little Tim Holtz inker. I had the original square one. I brought like a Tim Holtz kit off QVC. It's probably about 4 years ago, and I really loved it. But I did always used to get really annoyed that it was too big to do, especially when I was doing lots of little pieces. I think that's why I stopped kind of inking the edges, because I was doing lots of tiny little layers and stuff, and it really kind of just wasn't working. So I'm just using the grey ink to ink my edges, and I'm just going to mount that on that teal cardstock. And it's quite a thick piece of cardstock, so I'm not, you know, I'm not worried about that kind of gutting in the back there. And I find when they're in page protectors, it doesn't really make much difference anyway. I decided to just pull out my roller stamp and just add some of the hearts with the American Craft sprayer there. It does show up in person. You're probably not really even seeing it on the video here, but it just adds a little bit of interest to that background. I really could have probably zoomed in and shown you that in better detail, but as I said, it just adds a little bit of interest. And then I'm just using the Seafoam Mist from Heidi Swap, and again it's just breaking up that background a bit. I like my busy backgrounds, you know, and I actually like making them even busier. So again, it's not really probably showing up on here too well, but I really, you know, I like adding misting sort of in the background on my layouts. Of course, I've got my trusty heat gun with me, so I don't have to wait for that to dry. I actually have crafted in the last kind of 2 days, which I hadn't crafted for well over a week, and I found the process really hard. I think my brain just kind of wasn't with it, and my mojo was kind of a little bit like all over the place. And then I didn't have my heat gun, and I had to sit for like, I decided to do like loads of spraying, and then had to sit for like 25 minutes to like let it dry. It was ridiculous. So I will get myself another heat gun, a little smaller one probably, to just keep in my crop bag. As if you'd seen my video tour, you'll have seen how I had brought that pink rolling cart. I may do a video if anyone is interested on kind of seeing how I kind of go to crops and that, so if you are interested, do leave a comment below. When I say kind of like how I prepare for crops, it's also how I travel around with all of my stash. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I travel between the caravan and my parents, so I have to have everything kind of mobile, and everything fits really well in that cart. So at the moment I've got it down to just that rolling cart, a bag, and my little little crop bag, my little like tote, and I've actually even made some kits up for myself, so I'm not carting like loads of paper around either. So if anyone is interested in seeing kind of how I mobile scrap, then do let me know, and I'll film a little video just to show you that. So now everything's inked, I am just going to fuss with how I'm going to stick everything down. And I really like that little tag and thing, so I'm just kind of getting down. And I knew I wanted that circle element down there in the corner. I really love that. So I knew I wanted kind of that to make that main point of that cluster down there. That is actually a bit of a Polaroid frame there at the bottom, so I'm just using that to stick down. And again, I'm just kind of playing around with where I'm going to cluster everything. And basically, I'm just going to journal on here a little about how, you know, it was a change for us to kind of, for me to plan for us going out. Normally my boyfriend's like, okay, we're going out for a meal, let's go somewhere, where I'd kind of planned this because my aunt gave me the voucher and I'd done it. And it was kind of quite funny because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to pay for dinner then. And I think, like, we went, like, I think it was something like 40 pence over, like, what our voucher was worth. So I'm like, yeah, I'm treating you to dinner, honey. You know, it's all on me. Well, actually, yeah, it cost me like 40p. So, you know, it was just funny because, I say, normally he's very sweet and he takes me out for dinner and he pays. So it was quite funny, a little role reversal. So I just wanted to journal about that on the layout. So I'm just using my ATG to stick down those vellum pieces. I find that it's the best way to do it. Sorry guys, my video narration stopped again. I think my laptop's just having a hissy fit with me at the moment. So as I was saying, it doesn't really show up very well on the recordings, but also doesn't actually show up much in real life, those vellum pieces. So the ATG is really good for that. I'm now just pulling out some other bits and pieces to see if there's anything else I can add to this layout. I've got these Cosmo Cricket Tiny Texts that I've had in my stash for a long while. I used to use them on every single layout. I absolutely love them. And I've kind of gone off using them for a while, but when I was sorting out my caravan, I found a little pile of them, so I want to get them used up, and I love them, I really do. And I think it was kind of when I was in my Chamel phase of doing like little clusters of butterflies, I'd stick the words in the middle of a butterfly and things like that. So I really like, you know, that they just add something. And most of the layout is like white, but the cream doesn't actually look that too different with this. I'm okay with mixing kind of white and cream on this layout because it's kind of like the wood of the table and stuff like that. So they kind of all match really, and I don't honestly worry too much about that. So I was just using my phone there to check the date of when we actually went, and so I'm just going to use my date stamp there. I think it's a Dear Lizzie one, just to stamp the date there. And that place, you know, did have a little space for a date. And then I'm going to use one of the Amy Tangerine ones just to stamp some hearts there on that little banner label. I'm now just going through my washi tape, and this is a grey polka dot. I wasn't 100% happy with how that banner kind of bit looked, so I decided to add a couple of bits of washi tape. And I know I want to kind of put my title around there anyway, so I'm much happy with how that looked because the stamping just didn't really work for me. And then of course I want to add some washi tape to the other parts on the layout. So I am just going to do that, and again, it's what I call kind of like cheaper washi tape. It's kind of like more shiny than kind of the paper tape that we kind of get in crafting. And so I'm just going to put some of that on that top cluster as well. And as I said, I do like, you know, to follow kind of like the rule of 3 with things like that. And then just pulling out my enamel dots and just adding some enamel dots to each clusters, and I kind of go with sort of a dark teal, which kind of like, you know, it really pops on the layout. And then I'm just pulling out these thickers, and I believe these came in a Scraptastic kit. Yeah, I think they must have come in a Scraptastic kit, and they're kind of a really nice teal colour. So I'm going to use that for some of my title. Then I'm just going through my box here trying to find the other thickers and things I want to use. And I want to use the smaller type, so I'm kind of just going through here looking what other fonts and things I've got that I could use. Because I didn't necessarily want to have it all in that large letters, so I'm just using the Simple Story tile font, which is one of my favourite little letter stickers. I use those quite a lot, and I like doing my kind of title in 2 different sizes of font. So I'm just sticking those down there, and I'm just layering it over that washi tape. And just looking at that sticker sheet to see if I was going to add anything else. Decided I'm not going to add anything, so I'm then just going to add a little bit more mist over the top, over all of those clusters. So that is this layout. I'm sorry for all the breaks in the voiceover, but here you go. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!